Hello again, YouTube. Still under the weather because we're filming this straight after the last one. This isn't this week's Carboot haul or the week before's, but the week before's that. So my memory's going to be a little hazier on certain things, but we'll see what we can remember. So a lot of these little things here. A woman had like just a big box of randomness, and I asked her how much, and she said, "Oh, pull some bits out, and we'll come up with a price." And I always hate it when people say that because how much are you going to charge me for these things? So, oh, there he is. Amazing. I was looking for that. So yeah, I pulled a big pile together, all sorts of things, some gemstones, some like weird stone books, some little cereal toys, some little wooden mushrooms, a really old Coca-Cola pen. Looks like it's got some real age to it, that. Micro machine, just all sorts of little bits. And she was like, have them for £1. So got all sorts of random bits. I know that I bought these two things from someone else because I asked him how much they were, and he said £4 for the pair. And I started walking away, and he was like, "Oh, you can make me an offer." And I went, "Mate, to be honest, they're painted bits of wood. I was going to leave them in the forest for the fairies." And he went, "Oh, that's so nice. Have them for 50p then." So yeah, great. Cheers, mate. Some people like the woodland stuff. These ones, this weird thing, and this weird stone-looking thing, clearly both broken off. They came with a load of these gemstones here. This one, this one, this one, this one. The woman had like a big box of them. Oh, and this egg. This nice stone egg too. She had a big box of them, and I said, "How much is it for like all of the stones and things?" And she said £3. So I went, "Oh right, what about if I bought just like some individual bits?" Oh yeah, that was definitely in there too. The heart-shaped bit of glass, and this bit of fool's gold. And she said, "Oh, the small ones can be 20p and the big ones can be 50p." So I was like, "Oh, well, I'll grab a handful of these then." So I made a pile, and I think I counted it and was like, "Oh, I have £1.50's worth." And I went, "How much do you want for these?" And she said, "Oh, 2.50." And then she realised she said £3 for the whole thing, and then 2.50, and she was like, "Oh, I'll just call it £1 then." So I took like all the nicest ones for £1. I don't know. I don't think she was very good at car booting, that woman. But whatever, they just saved them going to the bin, I guess, didn't it? Someone else had some Lego sets. They had a really nice Lego set, but they wanted like £8 for it. And then they had a box of little bits, and I said, "How much are the little bits?" And she said, "Oh, they're just accessories, so just pennies." So I pulled out any cool looking accessories. These looking ghost fellas, this little husky, this sword, and this little bit of dynamite. And I said, "How much for those?" I think it was like 50p. So they ended up being like 10p a piece, which I'm happy with. Someone had these. They were 30p a piece, and I ended up getting 4 for £1. I forget what the other items that came with that were. Got some Pokemon speaker headphone things. They were only £1. I got this cute little dinosaur, little Christmas decoration thing, and this cool little ghosty looking fella. They were 50p each. Got some cards. I can't remember how much they were, but I only ever buy them if they're like ludicrously cheap. So some nice cards there. Some animal print A4 card, 10 sheets. They're labelled at 25p each. She had 4 of them, and she sold me 4 for 50p. So she spent £1. I spent 50p. Also got that funky reflective one there. So scrapbooking stuff. This was in a box of cards. I was flicking through them, and the bloke said the cards were 50p each. So I was like, "I'm not buying cards at that price. I get much cheaper." Then I found this Peanuts Viewmaster. There's loads of them in there, and this cool. I don't know if it's an iron-on patch or not. I'd have to check. But it said it was $22. So I was like, "Geez." So I just picked them up, and I showed the bloke and was like, "Yeah, I got 2 cards here for £1." So I had them for £1. Got this sprinkle fairy dust. Thought it might be a pencil, but it turns out it's not. It's just like something you stick in the ground. What's that price on it? It says 2.50. I got it for 50p. We all know what I'm going to do with it. Then you got this little pile here. This was cool. This was a box of very modern looking toys, and as I started flicking through, I was like, "Oh, these have got some age." And then I found these 2 battle beasts, which I was really chuffed about, in really nice condition as well. Had this Spider-Man. Thought this was a bootleg, but turns out it's just a modern Power Ranger that looks like a bootleg. This cool see-through Spider-Man. This like Borg character from Star Trek. This guy, I don't know what he's from. This is a horse. I think this is a Chap May horse, but it's nice. some sort of like Beetleborg sort of character. This guy from Pirates of Darkwater. And I asked her how much she wanted for these things, and she said like the big ones could be like £1, and the little things can be like 50p or something. She also had this Batman cool bike. I've never seen one of these until like only a few months ago, where I picked one up pretty cheap, and now I've got another one pretty cheap too. So I put this pile aside and said, "How much you want?" £4 all in. So I thought, absolute bargain, even just for those two to get all the other stuff was great. Didn't realize until I was like going through the bottom of my box pulling these little beasties out. She had another box over the other side that someone else was rooting through, and he was pulling out some like really nice looking Thundercats. And I tried to be friendly with him afterwards and say, show me what you got, but he wouldn't. I showed him what I got, like, oh yeah, look, I got Battle Beasts and this, that, and the other, and he didn't want to talk to me. Strange. Got this bootleg Pokemon keyring because it's just so horrendous. Bought this little matchbox with this weird tiny Santa Claus in. Like, look how small he is. A little baby Santa Claus. Also terrifying looking. Some really horrific looking thing that from way back when. That was £1. Where did we get to? Let's go over here. Bought Pokemon card for my Pokemon deck if I ever play those again. This guy's table was like ridiculously cheap and everything was color coded. So anything with a yellow sticker was 10p. So I bought this Warhammer Cursed collectible coin and this one. So 20 pence worth of coins. And there's DVDs for 20p each. So I picked up any that I didn't think I had. This one came from someone else. This one was actually 50p. But the other two were 20p. So I spent 60p on his store. I picked this up for 20p. Recently got one of these for my sister. And so there's a spare. Bought this new in box. Now I don't know much about the Justice League, but as far as action figures go, I really like her style, her guns, her clothing, the face, the mask, Pandora. It was a £5, but I thought of new in box and it looking so cool, I was happy with that. This I bought from the guy who did the Toxic Avenger one for 50p. Oh, in fact, now I remember where I got the other things from. So yeah, Toxic Avenger was 50p. This was £1. I gave him £2 for the pair, and I had to remind him to give me the change. Later on, I went back because he had a load of comics. So a load of these unbagged comics I bought from him, and they were 50p each. So I bought this one because I like Capitalist Korea. And yeah, so all of these they don't look like they're amazing. But I think I got to something like a £5 because I think I've got 10 here. And I gave him a tenner, and he was chatting to me, telling me how he was an estate agent and that someone had moved out, and he went round to check everything, and their recycling box was overflowing with all these magazines. And he was like, "Yeah, I've taken all the good ones out, so I'm just selling these ones." And I had to remind him again, "You owe me a £5, mate. I keep giving you money, and you're not giving me change." And it was like every time you gave him money, he wanted to talk to you in the hope that you'd forget you'd given him money and that he owed you change, but I never forget, my friend. We'll do this one before we get onto the last bit. So I bought this. This is a fella who always has Pokemon cards. He's now moved into house clearance stuff too. He just has boxes of stuff that he says 50p each, 3 for £1. Couldn't even make it up to £1. That's how junky his stuff is. But I found this and I thought it's got to be worth 50p. It's some 90s looking cheap sort of fair price toy. But I thought it was pretty cool. This fella had a box of comics. And I cannot remember the pricing structure of them, but they were cheap enough that I was interested. I think it might have been something like £1 each or 3 for £2, something like that. But anything that had a nice cover, like this Iron Maiden Legacy of the Beast, Street Fighter, although it's #1, it is a Loot Crate exclusive. This Superhero Spectacular issue 1. Infernal Tides, Dungeons and Dragons, issue 1. GI Zombie with this cool cover, again, issue 1. Catwoman, issue 1, nice cover. Are these called lenticular covers? I'm not sure. But yeah, lots of issue 1s with lenticular covers, if that's the right word. It might not be. But they were... Is it lenticular on the back? It is. Wow, how unusual. Batman, just very shiny, so not #1. Poe Dameron, issue 1, variant cover. Fantastic. Oh, Fantastic Four Hulk Forces thing, or Wolverine something. I don't know what's in that or what number issue that is, I have to admit, but it's a very cool cover either way. Um, True Believers, Deadpool the Variants, issue 1. The Wedding of Deadpool, issue 1. And then these aren't first issues, but these are Gargoyles. I genuinely loved Gargoyles when I was growing up. I had a load of Gargoyles toys, watched the show. I'm really pleased that it's coming back. So I made a pile of these, and it came out at like an odd number. I forget, maybe it was something like £7, something like that it came out of. So trying to make it up, I was looking for other things. I found this that he only wanted like 50p for. I thought I'd wear this when I go to Japan later on in the year, because I'll be going to the Jurassic Park experience thing over in Osaka, Kyoto. I think it's Osaka. I forget. But anyway, there's like some Universal Studios thing where they're called Jurassic Park looking ride. So I'm going to take that and wear that when I go on it, which will be cool. And then he was like, "Oh, I've got some other good nerdy, geeky stuff if that's what you're into." Because he seemed like a really nice guy. I've genuinely got on really well with this fella. So he just started pulling things out that he hadn't put on display. I'm going to try and use some of the heavier things to like weigh down what these are. This is the wrong way round. So let's see if we can move it this way. Oh, no, this is going to need to be heavier than that. Maybe that'll hold it. And then maybe I can hold the other way. So, oh, no, that's not going to work. Maybe I can put my foot on it. Maybe my foot will do the trick. So this was this cool Shaun of the Dead poster, the Winchester Tavern. Have a nice cold pint, wait for the blow over. It's on really thick card, but obviously it's very, very rolled up. And then he started pulling these out. And he didn't tell me a price for these, but he was like, yeah, look, they've all got their certificate of authenticity. They were all from something called the BAM box. And apparently this is from TV shows. This is like film cells, animation cells sort of thing. So this is like plastic with it printed on. But yeah, this is incredible. This is obviously from Street Fighter. And then he had another 2, which I'm hoping are both in this one. Otherwise, I've misplaced one. Yeah, it looks like I've misplaced one. This one is of Luigi, and it's like a hand-drawn cell from the animated TV show. So I got that one too. Maybe I didn't buy the third one. Maybe the third one I left because it was like Tales of the Crypt, and I don't really remember watching that. It was cool, but I genuinely thought he was going to charge me a lot of money for these because I was on £7. And then he had this as well, and he said, "Have I ever seen Pulp Fiction?" And he went, "Yeah, this is a little taxi. And it's signed by the woman who drove the taxi." And I was going, "I don't remember the woman who drove the taxi." And he was like, "It's her." And then I remembered and was like, "Oh yeah, but that's pretty cool." It folds up into a little taxi with her autograph on. So I was on something like £6 or £7 with the comics, and then with the badge, the 2 film cell things, this and the poster, he was like, "Oh, I'll call it £12." Seemed like a bargain to me. So, yeah, I was quite happy with the day, really. I found some Battle Beasts. You know, finding any action figures always brings me great joy, especially things like Battle Beasts. But I found some cool comics. I found some cool sort of film cell things, some boxed action figures, some cute little dinosaur things, and a load of stuff that could be used in a variety of ways. I will have no complaining about my use of small wooden mushrooms or bits of stone on the channel anymore. But yeah, lots of cool, weird and wacky things. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you didn't, not bothered, don't let me know in the comment section below. If you like the video, feel free to leave a comment. Hopefully more videos coming soon where I'll be sounding more like myself and be a bit happier and healthier in life. But we shall see. Battle Beasts out.